All right, we are back with another episode of the BassmastHER podcast. And as you can already see, we are joined by the lovely Anastasia Patterson today.
Ew.
Hello, thank you so much for being here early this morning.
Thank you for having me. What a time to be alive.
Where the heck are you right now?
I almost have to think about where I am, but
You've been
I,
everywhere.
yeah, I'm in Waddington, New York, right now. Well, we're a little bit away from Waddington, but in Waddington for the Bassmaster Open on the St. Lawrence River. This is a back-to-back. So we're at Upper Chesapeake last week. The week before that, we're at ICAST. The week before that, I had a jewelry show. So it's been a little crazy the last couple of weeks, and I think we got like 8 more weeks in a row, and then I'll be home. Can't wait.
It is like I get tired following along with you, I'm not gonna lie. Like you have so many different irons in the fire and you handle it all so well. It's incredible. I'm so impressed by you.
I appreciate that, but it's nothing but the Lord because I promise you I'm a hot mess most days. But yeah, it's been awesome the last couple of weeks. Looking forward to the St. Lawrence River, but it seemed almost too easy and then it got really, really hard. So hopefully we'll find some fish tomorrow. But well,
Okay. So had you ever fished the St. Lawrence River before this?
no, I never had. I came here last year for the elites, and then that was kind of it, obviously.
Very cool.
On the St. Lawrence River on the little like boat tours and stuff that they do that go to the castles. But yeah, it's beautiful out here. Um, of course, same with Christine, we're in like a little Amish house again. Don't know how we ended up at all the Amish houses this year. But this one's more of like an Amish bed and breakfast, but oddly, no one else is staying here for the whole week. So it's just been us in the house.
Can't
Yeah.
complain about that.
And it's like, as you can see, it's very hunting and fishing friendly. So
I love it.
yeah.
Well, I have like planned out topics I want to talk to you about today, but I have a squirrel brain, so bear with me here. And you like already touched on a whole bunch of things I wanted to talk to you about. So, first off, how am I allowed to like ask you how practice has been going?
Yeah, I think so. You
Yeah.
just can't, we can't like get, and you can't really
Yeah.
say
I
besides.
just I get so like one impressed and inspired by you guys from like to me something that's like scary. I talked to Christine on the last episode about how I like look up to her so much for she's learning like everything about running a boat, right? And I told her I'm so scared that something's going to go wrong when I'm out in the water and I'm not going to know how to fix it. And now you talking about going to the St. Lawrence and never being there before, like I know that it's like scary to me. Like how like what is it like just like dumping your boat into a brand new body of water and just going out and like head up, hammer down, right, Anastasia? How is that? I know that's a really broad question, but like I don't know. Like what goes into that? What like you're looking at maps, obviously you're using your graphs, but like is that nerve-wracking for you at all, or are you just so used to it because you've been doing it forever?
I wouldn't necessarily say nerve-wracking, but it is like a humbling experience every time, right? Because you hear like in doing research of all these people that catch giant bags here all the time. And then you can see that like you're gonna need a good bit of weight to even have a run at it. And then of
Right.
course, fishing the opens, you're fishing against not only the best opens anglers, but some of the best elite anglers and some other organization anglers in the country. So you have that kind of over your head. But I just like to go into every single tournament with just like a clear mind that like no matter what happens, we're going fishing and that it's a privilege to live this life. Honestly, but sorry, there's a mosquito chasing me. Um, but so yeah, the I didn't really do a ton of like map research, which I think might have bit me a little bit. I kind of tried to go near where we're staying here and not run too far. And then yesterday I ended up going through 3 tanks gas in practice, just trying to get as far as I could to see stuff more so than fish. Um, but that first day, like I was like, oh, if this is what's gonna happen, it's it's gonna be a good time.
Yeah.
But the wind and weather have changed a little bit. Now today we've got still calm in the morning. So if we have that on the tournament day, what I kind of was doing in practice will work. I was kind of really up on the bank sighting most of them. I barely, I mean, I think you know this, but I have live scope, but I barely use it. I just was kind of raised on just going fishing, which kind of does hurt you in the opens whenever, there's a lot of people who are really good with their electronics. Unfortunately, I wouldn't say I'm the best with my electronics, but I have plans for 2026 in the off season that I'm going to go to like every Clearwater lake. And then, of course, living on Santee Cooper, I'm going to spend a lot of time in the swamp with it, getting dialed in. I do know how to use it. I just feel like I could be more proficient with it. Um, but yeah, I just break down the water. I try to use a lot of different baits. I don't like to key in on one bait in practice just because fish are like people, they change every single day.
Hmm.
And they get picky. And then also I try to find like, okay, if I'm catching them on this bait, what size range are those fish? Are they different than the ones I'm catching on a different bait? So yeah, I mean, I'm kind of doing traditional clear water fishing from drop shots to Ned rigs, little jigs, pretty much finesse fishing. I did catch one or two on top water, but it was kind of random and far between. And then I caught a giant largie yesterday, like over 6 pounds, and it was so
Sheesh.
random. And I didn't even know that they live here. So that kind of made me think that I could go beat the bank and do things my way, but that hasn't worked for me this year. So we'll see how it goes tomorrow.
Yeah. Well,
Is
I'm rooting for you and I'll be watching here from Wisconsin, but I have so much respect for anglers who like stay true to their style of fishing. I think that's really cool and like I think there's a lot of value in using your confidence baits and I've had a lot of boaters in tournaments like when I'm a co that say, oh, don't do what everyone's telling you to do. Like use those confidence baits and do what you're confident in and you'll catch them. But I also really respect anglers who still realize that they have to learn how to use like live scope or whatnot. Like that kind of do both, stay true to themselves, but kind of stay with it and put in the work too.
Mhm.
That's
I like to cover as much water as possible. Like it's funny, I was actually at the service yard talking to the guys there, and he's like, "You don't have a ton of hours on this boat, but you're always in it." And I'm like, "I normally dump in and I burn the midnight oil on my trolling motor. Like I
yeah.
go everywhere possible, and then or opposite, I'll run, run, run all day long and never get on it." So it just kind of depends, but I think it's really awesome. I've come this year into this weird phase where like I used to never fish around people, and then now it's like at the beginning of the year in Division 2, I guess. Um, the same like 3 to 5 guys. I'm kind of around them in rotation all the time, and they're like guys that catch them. And it's weird because it's like I don't put it at the same ramp as them. I don't talk to them at all, besides like a hey or hi on the water. But somehow we always end up sort of in the same sort of rotation. And then the past two tournaments, I've just been in the mix of a whole sea of people that I've never seen on the water, hardly ever see them at the tournaments. Um, so I've been saying this whole year, but I've been around them. I just myself have not been on them the way that I would like to be. Um, Unfortunately, I've won a lot of practices this year and not a lot of tournaments, but that's just how life goes sometimes.
Yeah. And I mean, you're killing it, Anastasia. You are doing so much, and like tournaments don't always go the way you want them to go. And I know that you've had some tough ones that, you haven't done as well as you'd like to. And I admire like the posts that you've made so much and your attitude. Like the last one you said, surprisingly, I love this lake, and maybe the tournament doesn't show that. And you stayed so positive, and now you're here fishing another one. And you always say head up, hammer down. And if you don't mind, we hear you say it all the time. We see you say it. We see it on your truck. We see it on your boat. But can you tell us a little bit about like the origin and where that came from? Because I love that phrase so much and have so much respect for it. But where did that originate from?
So I like from a young age always thought about like what's something that'll resonate with everybody. Like
Yeah.
have to be like you're a Christian or you love this certain thing or like this is your favorite bait to throw. Um and it was just like a positive affirmation that's like very me but still has to do about, fishing. So head up, hammer down is kind of what I fell upon. And just no matter what happens in life, keep your head up. To me, that's like keep my eyes, fixed upon like who the Lord has called me to be, and hammer down, meaning, do things wide open, have so much fun at it, put the hammer down, like risk everything, do whatever it takes. Um, to make a difference, make a change, to fish clean, to fish well. And then, whenever you put a hammer down, it kind of like locks something in. So that's like head up, hammer down. Keep your head up and lock in. That's pretty much the short version of what that means.
That is so cool. I love it. Sometimes I'm like, why didn't I think of that? You know? But thanks for letting me use it sometimes. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no, everyone is welcome to use it. People have told me that I should get it like trademarked, but I'm like, how do you trademark a whole phrase? And that seems like a lot of work. So,
It does, but I do also think you should do it.
yeah,
At
we'll
least
see.
make some merch, please, because I want to buy some.
Oh, I definitely have merch coming. I've
All
just
right.
sit down. Oh, there's two little deer now. Sorry, squirrel brain, and there's like literally all around. There's like some little yearlings right at the door right here. Sorry.
It's all right.
Definitely got to sit down and make some merch. I've been in talks with some people. I just have some stickers that Wrappable in Columbia, South Carolina made for me,
Hmm.
and they have my boat and they say like my name, have head up, hammer down. They're really awesome. But I have like I don't know if you've seen like the little sweat set situations that girls wear right now, like
Oh
the short.
yeah.
I have an idea for that, and then I have like a t-shirt and a pullover. Like I'll probably do something within before next season, just because it does help fund, being on the road. No matter how much good times we have, we don't always have the best money on the road. So
Gets expensive.
yeah, it does. It adds up. The
It adds
gas,
up.
the Airbnbs actually add up too, especially when like you don't have anyone to split them with.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and then just like even the lull in between, um, we have the workshop coming up, so obviously I'm not going to be able to drive back home and then drive 21 hours to for 21 hours from here to there, so it'd take like 36 hours possibly to drive there. So
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
not
It's a
going to
lot.
go and then turn around and drive back for sure.
Yeah. Well, so that was another one of my questions, your travel situation. First of all, you obviously love your I always get the year mixed up. 1794, right? Your
Yeah.
Tundra. You love it because you got another one, same thing. How's it
Yeah.
treating you? How's life on the road?
If you don't have a Toyota Tundra and you're looking to get a more so, everyone says that all the Tundras are luxury. They really are.
Right.
Uh, the 1794 edition is like I love her. It's very me. I went with it again this year because I was very much so blown away and impressed by it last year. So it has like a leather pecan sort of interior with black um on the trim. It is so beautiful.
Beautiful.
And yeah, I have, everything from the rear view mirror display, which obviously with the camper shell, it's harder to see out of that.
Yeah.
But lumbar seats, you got heating and cooled seats all the way around. You've got a great LCD display where you can do CarPlay and all that. A lot of times I forget pulling a boat behind me because the tow capacity is great. And, like I spend more time in my truck than I do in my house, so it's
Yeah.
important for it to be something that I can basically live out of. So I've deemed it the Toyota townhouse, but it is the Toyota Tundra, and of course we went with black. There's a really fun blue color that's coming out next year. I kind of have my eyes on, but it is very wild. So I don't know. I love the black. It just it works very well. So.
Yeah. I've been showing everybody that blue color. I was like, I have a feeling Anastasia and I might be fighting over this one next year. Which is funny because I'm usually very like boring. I went with the mud bath this color on my TRD Pro. It's so
Mhm.
funny. We all like obviously these Tundras are fantastic trucks because we all got the same exact one. Like this this
Yeah.
year. Christine, myself, and you, we all got the same one. Um,
Cool. I think Maggie, you would agree on this. Like the only reason that the blue one is like scary to me in my mind is like, you know, we do have this off season of sorts, like, and it's my other favorite season, hunting season.
Yeah.
Just can't imagine like that blue truck anywhere near the woods. Like I feel like I have to either walk in so much further or like take the side by side or something because there's just no way that blue truck is going to stand out for sure.
Yeah, that's a fantastic point. That was when I picked this mud bath color this year. I was like, that's gonna be so good for hunting too.
Right.
But now here we are looking at an electric blue color. It's got to switch it up a little bit, you know?
Keep life fun for sure.
Yeah. So yours is a townhouse. Mine's the Tundra studio. If you guys haven't noticed, I'm here in the bed of my truck in the garage because once again, it is just absolutely thunderstorming and downpouring outside. But speaking of being on the road, you're doing a lot of traveling with Christine, which I feel like you two have to probably be so thankful for that. It's so nice having a buddy on the road and like you said, someone to split the Airbnb with and having it be a gal. How's that going for you guys?
Scared me so
Is she
bad.
back there? Is she gonna come say hi?
Absolutely not. She's in her pajamas. It's like 7:30
That's
on the
fair.
dot. So, Christine, gosh, wow. Traveling with Christine is a blessing and a curse because I am Christine's road mother. And I make sure of what and where and how and how things work. But Christine normally it's just Christine. I don't know how to describe it other than that. But it's really fun because it's like having like your sister go everywhere with
Yeah.
you. But sometimes having your sister go everywhere with you just leads to tomfoolery or it's 2 a.m. and we're still up and we have to be awake at 5 a.m. for the
Oh
derby.
boy.
Yeah, so we have some long days or either we have like, on the water it is better. So I have someone to call, like if something goes wrong.
For
Um,
sure.
and then at the house, obviously, like getting to split the house is awesome. And then getting, I traveled with guys before, so it's like this is a whole different pace of like, most time with guys, like one guy's going to be gone 2 hours before anyone else and come home 12 hours after everyone else. Um, with me and Christine, we're kind of like on the same timeline for the most part. Like, it's just very easy. We wake up and get after it pretty much, and then we're from either before before it's light outside, we've left the house, we get home after dark, or either we'll say, listen, we're going to fish at this ramp until around 12:30. I'll call you about 12 and see if we're going to go here, and then we'll move to a different one. Especially because a lot of these lakes and rivers that we've been fishing are like bigger bodies of water. Instead of, doing the bulk of the work running all day. Some of these places it's way easier to just drive around.
Hmm.
Now we were at the Upper Chesapeake, it was a lot busier area, so it made more sense to just put in and run wherever you wanted to go. But some of these like smaller town situations, it's been a pleasure. We've ended up at some ramps that I would not go to at all on my own. One of them where Christine put in and I sat in the truck while she fished for like an hour until she came back, just because it was a little sketchy, yeah.
Oh boy.
I am very adventurous, but Christine, when it comes to boat ramps, she'll find the one that has like never been maintained in its whole 75 years of existence and has 6 foot of mud at the entryway. And then we trade off who like does the Airbnb each time. So you can guarantee if I'm picking it, it's probably, country farmhouse vibes, down a dirt road or something like that. If Christine's picking it, it's mountain-esque or either an Amish farm, and it's a little off the beaten path, as well. But I can't remember which one it was, but we had to go through basically like an ATV park situation, with our boats and trailers, through the mountains to get. Oh, it wasn't a bass tournament. It was the LBAA. But we had like a 16-mile drive in off the road to our house through the mountains and through valleys and rocks and river. So yeah, it was
Christine
interesting.
picked that one.
Yes.
Perfect. She and I talked about this on our episode together. We just laugh about like you two are the most unlikely duo, but that like makes so much sense at the same time.
Yeah, we are completely very much so very opposite
But
people.
also so similar. Like it's so funny. Like you two work so well, like complement each other so well and have so many similar interests and traits, but like have so many really different ones too.
Yeah, we don't like fish the same at all. Like our fishing styles are completely different and our even our living styles are pretty different too. Like um just the things that we do, it's very much so different. But Christine, I feel like we've kind of rubbed off a little bit of good and bad on each other.
Yeah.
She's like joking that like you've made me so much more girly because there's like a boutique here that we went to last time, and now she's like, okay, whenever you get done, we're going to go get bagels and go to the boutique. Last year, she would have never said that. She would have been like, we're having a barbecue sandwich at 7 a.m. Um, from 2 days ago or something like that, which is fine, but it's just different.
I love it. That's so funny. That's something I love about you too. Like a lot of us gals that are really into the outdoorsy stuff are kind of quote unquote, people like to call it like tomboys or whatever. And I love that you have these kind of two different sides of you, or sometimes you do them both at the same time, right? Like there's nothing wrong with throwing a little mascara on and going out on the boat, catch some fish. And I love your girly side too. And yeah, you've taught both Christine and I things about our feminine side and how to be beautiful. It's okay to be beautiful and catch fish.
Yeah. It's actually crazy that you said that last night. I said for a long time I was gonna do like a gas station series, but I'm sure you've been to the gas station and you've heard everything from cat calls to bad things as well. But this little boy, I have no idea where he came from, didn't see his mom or daddy or nobody. And he's like, ma'am, is it okay if I get in your boat? And I'm
Oh,
like, yeah, sure. So he gets up there and he goes, what is this? And I was like, what do you mean? He's like, it's like pink. And I
oh,
said, you didn't see that before you got over here? And he's like, I just saw the boat and ran across the street. So mind you, his mom and dad are not anywhere near this gas station. And the kid's in my boat now.
oh my gosh.
I'm like, oh no. And finally I hear someone hollering at the door for him. But he's like, just kind of, this is very different. Like, it's a girl boat. And I was like, yeah,
Heck yeah, it is.
I'm a girl. And he was,
Yeah.
I've never seen one of these. And then he's like, I'm gonna have to tell my sister. And I was like,
Oh,
right. I was like, oh my gosh, oh, that's so cute. Um, but yeah, it's been crazy. I get, everything from the love to the hate of like,
yeah.
oh, we're doing pink boats now
Yeah.
versus I'm like, people have had pink boats before. It exists. There's like, yeah, it's existed.
Yeah.
Also, if you go to Charleston for any time at all, like obviously I live in South Carolina, there's pink boats everywhere. And there's very nice pink boats too, which mine is a very nice pink boat, but
Yeah.
off boats. So different in the same beat. But I don't know what I'm gonna do next year yet. So we'll see.
Well, I am always excited to see what the next year's boat, the wrap and colors and everything will bring. Speaking on that, I didn't plan on talking about this today, but it's a good point. Like you bringing that up, like, oh, I've never seen this before. What is this? Or have you ever noticed like the hate that goes around with like, yeah, girls that go out hunting or fishing with a bunch of makeup on, or like, do you ever see the negative sides of that? Like people that, for whatever reason, don't take it as seriously, or do you have anything to say to people that view it that way?
Yeah, so I do see it. I
Yeah,
normally like, I ignore hate. I don't feed into that because I've got too
absolutely.
much joy for someone to bring me down.
Yeah,
But I would say it is very easy to be discouraged by anyone who is like naysaying to, especially something as simple as a woman wanting to look good or feel good. Not necessarily saying that makeup makes you feel good, but it sometimes does enhance that. And I obviously can't see myself when you're looking at me. So it's like, oh, like today I have no makeup on, and you're like, oh, you look so beautiful today. And I'm like, no, thank you. But it's just like sometimes that, um, my actual team partner, Sawyer, his wife, Grace, told me this last year at Okeechobee. And I was like so discouraged before the tournament because I didn't have the best practice. And I knew that there was like one shell bed within a sea of people that if I could get there, I was going to sit on that every day of the tournament all day. And I was like, but I just don't feel good. She was like, wake up before the tournament an hour earlier than you will, do your hair, do your makeup, make it fun and make it cute. And she's like, you'll either catch them and you'll look good, or you'll catch them and you won't catch them. Either way, or you'll just feel as bad as you do right now. And so sometimes I think that like if I do my hair and makeup and I go, maybe not, I'm not doing my hair probably. Like I might do a cute braid or like, if I do the bubbles, I've like had a good day that day.
Love.
I need to probably do that this week. It might make me fish better, but um, if you do your hair and makeup to go hunting or to go fishing, it doesn't necessarily mean that like you're the glam girl that you have to do it. It's just like we're women. We're allowed to be women and enjoy being a woman. So there should be no bad reason for you to be disappointed or someone to be disappointed in you for doing your makeup. And also, half of the time, whenever I do go hunting, especially duck hunting, I have to go to work after. So it's
Yeah.
like I'm going to work after, and then I get off of work and I go deer hunting after. So it's like I've been in that makeup all day. Or if I know I'm filming a show or something that's going to be in front of X amount of people, that's their first impression of me. So of
Hmm.
course want to look my best, but also there's just some people who it's a routine. Every single day they wake up, get all the way ready before the world sees them, if that makes sense. And there's nothing wrong with that at all.
Yeah. Look good, feel good, fish good.
Right? Look good, feel good, fish good. That's your thing, Maggie.
Well, I gotta work on the look good part if that's gonna be my thing.
You always look good. And your
No.
hair is like the best hair on earth.
Oh, yes, thank you. That's beautiful. No, maybe you could start teaching me a thing or two also. But yeah, I've seen comments on posts. Like I feel like especially in the hunting world, but like, oh, she woke up an hour earlier than she had to put all that makeup on or whatever. And it's like, yeah, she did. You were still sleeping. Like what what's your point?
I mean, literally, sometimes you just gotta literally take it to exactly what it is. Rise and shine.
Oh, okay.
Right.
And shine. Oh, I love it. So, what's it like having Christine to travel with versus you said you've traveled with a bunch of guys in the past too? Like, how's it different having a gal with you, having your back and on the road?
Um, hmm. I guess the difference would be just with Christine is that like, we come home and we kind of do the same things, or like if one of us is rigging, we're both out there. If one of us
Yeah,
is watching TV, we're both kind of watching, we're not ever watching TV hardly, but if one of us is, we're both doing it. Like on an off day, we're kind of doing everything together. Now, a lot of times when I travel with guys, it's like they're doing the same things, but just with them. Like if they're going to play golf, I'm not necessarily invited to play golf. If
yeah,
they're going to play pickleball or something, they're like, you can come, but then it's like they get 10 games, I get two. And that's not a bad thing. It's just kind of like whoever you travel with, you have to know that like those people are a reflection of you because that becomes your community. And I know that we talked about this a little bit about some guys that travel together and how it's like, oh, he's so much different now than he was 2 years ago. And I think that it's just important that you have to travel with people who want to help build your career and
yeah,
they want to give you not give you, but they want to help um, you stand on a firm foundation. And obviously, like, whenever I'm in the wrong or whenever Christine's in the wrong on something, we call each other out on that. And I think that's important. And even like the other day I said something about I was like, I just don't even feel like I'm like gonna be able to fish that. And Christine's like, what do you mean? Like you were already here. The fishing can be completely different tomorrow. So it's just like good to have someone who also is encouraging because I know that it can be hard, especially whenever you're traveling with people who always catch them, and you aren't necessarily the person who always catches them on the day where it actually matters, you know. That can be very discouraging, but in the same accord, traveling with someone who's a lot better than you also can make you have grit and make you work 10 times harder so that you can be better.
Yeah, absolutely. I think from my experience, whether it's a gal that's fishing the tournament or even if it's someone's partner, like their wife or girlfriend who travels with us, it's just nice to have a gal around, like someone that you can relate to and that understands you a little bit more. Like you said, there's certain things that we do on the road that guys aren't doing or that we might spend a little more time on, like getting ready or, whatever women have to deal with. But it's just nice to have that, like, it just feels like a different kind of support system for some reason in my mind. And whether it's a male or female, like you said, I feel like it's really important that it's just someone that's in your corner and is like looking out for you, has your best interest in mind. That's so important. You get real close on the road with people. I know I only fished 3 opens last year, but I feel like those guys are some of my best friends now, out of our little community here at home. I don't know. It's just a bond. And I think it's really cool that you two have each other. You're behind the steering wheel and you're going through it together. I think it's really cool. It's fun to watch, like follow along with you guys and just the bond that you've had and created and just you two are two bad to the bone women, and it's so fun to follow along with. I don't know how else to word it. It's just I look forward every time I see your little one of you has a little story up at the top of my Instagram. I'm like, "Ooh, what are they doing now? What are they getting into now? What are they using the Dyson for today? Or what are they catching? What are...
Yeah, I wish that we could I wish well maybe we will do like like a YouTube series. I'm planning on coming out with the YouTube. I've been saying this for 7 months now. It's unlike me to say something and not act on it, but
Yeah.
it's so hard with YouTube because it's like I'm not everyone's yeah content creator. I don't feel like I'm a true content creator, and I very much so lack at like knowing how to work keep the DJI going all day or keep my GoPro running and make sure that it's been recorded, and then like I can edit. And people are always like, how the heck did you take this video on your iPhone? And it's just like it's so much more user friendly for me
Yeah.
because I'm a grandma. So
No, I get that. People that have a YouTube channel and that are so good about posting on it all the time, they don't get enough credit because you are traveling, you're on the road, you're fishing tournaments, you have to practice. I mean, you have to enjoy your life too and have a good time. And like filming one kind of in my opinion because I'm also not good at it kind of adds stress to the day like yeah making sure the camera's going pushing the button making sure it's going blah 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 but then you get off the water you're exhausted and you have 8 hours of footage to go through or edit and put together it's a lot of work and for me it's not an excuse I've been saying the same thing I need to start a YouTube channel but like I want to be fishing. I don't want to be sitting behind a computer screen and editing. And I still have a full-time job, so I'm behind the computer 8 hours a day already. I don't want to do it more.
right.
Come on now.
And
It's
it's
a
hard.
lot.
It's like I go on the road and like, most people go on the road and they go home and they still get to fish. I still do get to fish. But when I go back home, I literally like the day I get home, if I get home in the afternoon, I can go into work the next morning.
Yeah,
And so it's
exactly.
like thankfully I have for the past 5 years like worked at a place where they're like very, very flexible
Yeah.
with the schedule. Because like I am self-employed, but I also am employed at the same time. So it's like a hard thing of, well, if I told you I'm going to be there on July 30th, then today's July 30th and I've made that day of the tournament or have a tournament that day, um, and I didn't communicate that to them well, it could be a problem, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a lot. I'm just, at the end of the day, I give YouTube creators so much credit. It's a lot. But yeah, I mean, you've kind of been doing this lifestyle for ever, from what I understand. Do you know how old you were when you fished your first tournament?
I've no idea. I was fishing literally before I could breathe, basically.
Yeah.
But I would say the time that I remember, I would be like 12 years old. Um, and you could like fish with a kid on a certain night of the week. And so I would fish with either my dad or some of my dad's buddies and like little local tournaments, or sometimes my dad's hunting club would have their own little fishing derby and stuff against each other. But I would say me and my dad have been competitive fishing against each other since day dot. Every time that we go out, it's who can catch the most or who catches the biggest fish. So it's like, God bless you. I've been raised in
Bless
a
ya.
sorry about that. I've been raised just with that like competitive mind, I guess. Not in a bad way, just in good fun. Um but I would say the tournaments that kind of was the turning point where I realized like I could fish you know, bigger tournaments, more national tournaments, and that I actually like could maybe hold my own. And even if I'm not holding my own right now or whatever that might be, that I could go out there and fish tournaments and encourage other women or other girls or even just people who said, you know, I can't fish a tournament because I'm not good enough to. I could encourage them to go fishing because if, I mean, that's no shock. You can go on the internet and see I've had really great tournaments and really, really horrible ones as well. Um, and I went through a time there where I would go through tons and tons and tons of fish, but whenever I was maybe 18 or 19 and in college and we had just started that college team, and started like, you know, talking with big companies, I realized that like the fishing industry was way bigger than I ever thought that it was, and that there was tons of opportunity for anybody. If you wanted to make baits, if you wanted to work behind the desk in corporate, if you want to answer phones and talk to people about fishing, if you want to be a podcaster, a camera person, if you want to be a camera boat, if you want to be a tournament director, there was a multitude of jobs that you could do. But for me, my like focus was like, I want to fish for a living. Like I want to fish. I don't want to do anything else but fish. And I remember I won big fish in like a really small tournament. Like it might have been like 12 people that were in the tournament, which I mean 12 boats is still a good bit of people if you think
Yeah.
about it for like a little small tournament.
Yeah.
But I won big fish. I didn't even win the tournament. And I had guys like, how the heck did you catch that fish? Like, I've never seen a fish in this lake that's even like that big. Like, and I had beaten the second place big fish by like 4 pounds. And so I was like, oh, it's not that big of a deal, whatever. Well, then I remember the next tournament, like, I didn't even place in that tournament. And a guy was like, aren't you the girl who got big fish last time? Like, he still remembered. And I was like, huh. Like it was something that was to me at the time just mundane, like, oh, you got big fish. But the fact that it like made a mark on someone else and he remembered, it like triggered in my brain, like, oh, you don't have to necessarily win to be successful or for people to remember that. Now, do I want to win? 1,000% yes. But do I think that like right now the Lord has me in a place where it's like He's giving me everything I need in my tackle box, if you want to say, like my toolbox, to be equipped enough so that whenever a major win does come, that I am mentally and emotionally ready for what comes along with that. Because you see guys win, like when Easton won the Classic, like his life was already incredible, but it's
Hmm.
like your life changes so much so fast, especially at the Classic level. But even if, you know, say today or this week, Maggie Jo went and won the Open. You think people are going to stop talking about that 6 months from now that you won an Open? No, because it's like it's gonna that's breaking not just like breaking barriers, but that's kind of breaking the norm. Like when Christine won the Bassmaster Kayak Series,
Hmm.
that's like the first time ever that a woman won. That's so cool, but it's not even like cool that that's the first time that a woman won. It's like that's Christine's biggest win on the Bassmaster stage. So like every time she goes across the stage now, um, even whenever, you know, she is on the Elite Series, they'll say Bassmaster Kayak Series champion.
Yeah.
Like it stays with you forever. So even, they're not gonna say big fish winner 75 times ago. But they if once you be once you win at that level, it's like it stays with you forever. So it's like I know there's a million people chasing the same dream, but it's very special that like each person has their own um path to it, and the significance of like that our journey might not look the same, but that our end goal or that like the passion that we have for fishing is still the same. So I think that's really awesome that like that's something that all of these guys and girls are after. That feeling of just setting the hook on a big one. And I told Hank this last week. I was like, I was gonna do whatever it took to even have one fish so that I could come across this stage because um my mom and dad wait all day to see me go across
Yeah,
that stage. And it's like sometimes it does suck, like to not have a fish or to not have five, like not have a limit. It does suck. Every time it sucks. I'm not gonna say that it doesn't, but whenever you just get to go across the stage, it's like I did work hard. I did put in the time for all of that. I've, sacrificed a normal life per se to live this one. But this is the only life that I want to live. So yeah.
that is incredible. And you bringing up your mom and dad, you have the most supportive parents. They melt my heart. Obviously, your mom is so involved. She comes like to so many shows and whatnot with you. But the other day, I saw your dad posted a TikTok that was like, when you pass your daughter on her way to work or something, it was you and your decaled out truck, your wrapped boat. I thought that was so neat. I think anyone who has that kind of support system behind them is really fortunate and blessed. It's just absolutely awesome. But something that you said that a thought came into my head when you were talking too. We always say how it like it we don't care what the leaderboard says. Like we care that you're up there, right? For representing women. Something that I want you to remember is like even when you don't have the best finish that you want, like your last open, for example, I don't remember what you placed. I don't remember what your weight was. I remember your attitude coming out of it and the words you said in your post. And so I think that that's something so important for everyone to remember. Like if you're trying to get into this, if you don't have the tournament that you imagined, you can really make an impact on people without winning, without, catching a huge limit. And that's something that you are doing very well. So I have to applaud you for that.
Maggie, thank you.
And you do kick butt too. You catch them, but we all have tournaments that don't go the way we want them to. And I know I see Christine back there. I know she snapped me out of one that I did really poorly on. She got my head back in the right space. So I appreciate that we all can support each other and inspire each other without even meaning to. Because I know you didn't know that your post was going to resonate with me, but it did.
Mhm. It's actually crazy. Like I'd never realized, you know, posting on social, like how you can just encourage someone else and like that someone
Yeah.
else be going through that same exact season of life as you. And it looked completely different. Like, for example, I'm fishing. It could be a lady or a gentleman who is working in the corporate world or something else, or they have cancer or anything. And I've had people message me with these scenarios saying, listen, I've read this today and I felt like my life was going to be different now, or that like someone else feels exactly the same way that I do. Um, there's a couple guys from back home that fish the opens, and one of them, I remember he said to me one time, he's like, you always stay silent. Like people either think that you are very quiet, or people who know you think that you never stop talking. And he's like, but there's like a weird in between that like, and he's like, you do the same thing on social media. You'll either post a post and it has like 5 words and then hashtag head up, hammer down, or you post like a whole chapter of a book. And I was like, well, sometimes I just like think, well, if I don't post this and someone else needed to hear this today, like this message needed to reach them today, like tomorrow might not have been promised or something like that, like that I would be doing myself and someone else a disservice by not putting it out there. And that's like the good, the bad, the ugly, because obviously not every tournament angler can tell you there's been times where they've won and they won big, and there's been times where they've lost and it like we sometimes ride the roller coaster ride, and it feels like you're at the very bottom, at rock bottom, and you're like, I don't know if this is something that I should be doing anymore. And then there's other times where you're like on fire, and there's nothing else that you want but to like be doing exactly what you are. So it just depends. Sorry, Christine's singing right now.
Oh, we can't hear her, but we wish we could.
No, you don't. I'm thankful that you don't hear her.
Oh gosh, I love it. Well, what is coming up next for you here? Obviously, you're at a tournament right now. What day does it kick off?
So it starts tomorrow. So we'll fish, what's today? Wednesday. So Thursday, Friday, top 10 fish Saturday. And then from here we go to Leech.
Ugh,
Yeah. So go to Leech. Next, or like Walker, Minnesota.
yep,
Um, so yeah, probably about 21 hours straight drive from here. So probably take me about 30 hours. And honestly, I'm probably gonna break it up into 2 days because we have like a bit of time, like 5 days, I think, before practice starts.
nice.
Um, but also I might text you because if you know anywhere to stay around there, or if you remember where you stayed, I haven't booked a place yet. I just remembered that.
I think I can help you
Get
out
on
with
that
that.
today. And
Yeah.
then from there, I'm gonna go to the last and final Bassmaster of 2025, right? This is the last one, Alacross.
We have one at the Toyota Owners Tournament as well.
Oh, excuse me, yes. Well, the
It's okay.
last one at an elite event.
There you
So
go. That's what she meant.
yeah, that's what I meant. The last one at a Bassmaster Elite. And then from there, I go, gonna make my way back down south. But I'm gonna stop and fish a couple lakes on the way back home. Just like spend a day, on some new water just because I think it's good for you. And then also, you never know, like there's a place in Alabama that I passed a million times. And I'm like, oh, I literally like look out, see a shoal that I want to fish off of the interstate, but I just never have time to fish it. Um, and then I've come to love these like Highland Reservoir situations too. And I might even go fish a Great Lake. So we'll see. I don't have a set in stone plan, but my plan is to be home, about 45 days from today. So we'll
Jeez.
see how that goes. And then after that, I'm gonna fish some local stuff, um, the Nation, the Cat Trail, and just local derbs until um getting ready to go back after it. I am gonna fish some other like bigger tournaments this year too. I just don't have that set in stone. And then it'll be time for owners before we know it.
Yeah.
And I'm excited for that.
And then you're gonna come up here and ice fish with me this winter, right?
Sure. I also have to ice fish with, I'm sure they'll watch this. Mike and Tina, I met them that they lived in the house next to us. On the one off day last week, we were at Champlain, or we went to Champlain on the off day, and or the day after the tournament, sorry. So the day in between the travel day, in between practice, so technically an off day. But Mike and Tina stayed at the house next to us at Champlain, and Mike invited us, everyone who was staying there, to come back and go ice fishing with him.
I
Um,
love it.
and they were awesome people. So it was very cool. They had a lot of fishing stories about ice fishing, and pretty awesome folks. And they also have an Airbnb there that I'll probably be staying at um, while I go see them because
Oh,
they're,
perfect.
yeah, I normally am not trust strangers kind of people, and like but it was just funny. I was out there at my boat, and Miss Tina came out and she's like, "Whose boat is that?" And I was like, "It's mine." She's like, "Huh?" She's like, "You don't ever see girls." And she's like, they live pretty close to where you take off for like the elites tournaments out of there. And she's like, "I've never seen a girl fish any of those tournaments." And she's like, even the ones around here. So it's just encouraging to her. And then she told me a lot of times about her fishing and her out fishing the boys, and how like she's just very encouraged by what we're doing. And she looked up you and Christine too, and she's like,
Oh,
wow, you girls are awesome. So, yeah,
that's
it's
so
awesome.
cool.
The impact that we have, it might seem like nothing to us, like because you don't see the people that you reach really. Like you see numbers and all that, but even sometimes the numbers seem like too good to be true. Um, Even last week, after I left I was on the way to Champlain, I stopped at a random Toyota dealership and went to a gas station. And I'm just going to share this really quick with you. Sorry. Um,
Please.
but I saw a car like pass the gas station and well, it was a truck and he turned back in. And then I saw him like sitting in his truck for a minute and he was like literally like you could tell something was wrong. And but he had parked like right next to my truck and I was at the pump and he was like right next to the truck. Well, I guess he was like trying to wait until I was done pumping gas. Well, whenever I was done pumping gas, he's like, "Hey, are you Anastasia by chance?" And I was like, "Yeah, I am." And he was like, I've always wanted to meet you. I've actually been praying that like if there was a God or there was something out there that I would come into contact with you somehow. I was like, what? Long story short, he tells me about his grandpa used to watch me fish on this TV show that came on Saturdays, a fishing story with Ronnie Green, and that his granddad had passed away. And that at his funeral, the pastor, the one of the things he said was head up, hammer down. And I was like, what the heck? And then literally crazy how like you're just at the right place at the right time because I didn't really have to even get gas right then and there. But I was like, let me just gas up. That way I can just make the whole drive and not have to stop again. Um, and I don't want to share the details of all of it because it was a little personal for him.
Yeah.
But just like I never would have ever seen this kid ever.
Yeah.
Uh, Ever. There's just no way on earth that I would have. I can't even tell you the name of the town I was in. Like that's how crazy. Like I just called a Toyota dealership that was in between, you know, the Chesapeake Bay and the St. Lawrence River. And it was about 2.5 hours from the upper Chesapeake. And then right after that, another guy was just like intrigued by the boat. I think he thought I was Scott Martin because he was like, Scott? And then I was like, no, no, that's not Scott. And he was really excited and then he wasn't. So it's just like it happens that fast. You go from like here to like, oh,
Humbled.
yeah.
Oh gosh, that is too funny. That is really cool. We're like anyone. I'm using us as an example, but anyone can be inspiring someone or making an impact to someone without even knowing it. That's
Yep.
incredible.
There's people like literally in our communities that inspire us. There's people
Yep.
that on the internet that don't even know exist. There's a the Mayfield family is like a really well-known like family in um like the equestrian, not equestrian, but more so like the Western industry. That's the word I was looking for. Sorry. Um Shelby Mayfield inspires me like with her fashion so much. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I love everything that she puts on it. It seems like it just turns to gold. And I love her brother as well, like watching him ride. But it's just crazy that like there's these families, that are like legacy families. Like we have that in fishing. People that have just been in the industry for so long and you look up to them and you're like, oh my gosh, wow, that's so awesome. But then there's also people who are like fishing my local derby, and I'm like, dang, if I could catch him the way he does.
Right.
The man catches 36 pounds and gets to go home at 9 a.m., like sort of thing. Or even there's people who it's like, dang, they just have like great character. Like you never know the impact that the smallest things about you could make on somebody.
Yeah. That happened to me last night. I fish a lot of small stuff around home, like you were talking about earlier, and not to brag, but I actually won our Tuesday nighter last night, and
Yeah.
I was inspired by I like to always try to be a good sport, right? But a few of the guys like really kind of went out of their way to like come up to me and say good job, and like I'm like, that makes you feel so good. You know what I mean? So, I mean, that happened to me at a past one. So now this season, I just really try to make sure I go out of my way to like walk up to whoever won and like congratulate them. Like just the little things like that can really inspire someone. And also a
Yeah.
side note on how you and I are so different. I have no idea who inspires me for my fashion, but like Seth Fighter maybe.
Oh,
I'm
I
just kidding.
I love that.
Uh,
You
I wish
should
I
just
could
like,
grow a mustache. I could do a mullet though.
and you maybe could.
That would be cool.
I also would say that whenever you're talking about like going up and talking to people, there's like one elite angler that I can think of that he's like always showing up every championship Sunday or even when it's on Saturday. Brandon
Brandon
Palaniuk,
Palnick, yep.
so good
It's
about
incredible.
making sure that he stays and like congratulates people. That is like one of the things that like it's so encouraging to me that like it's of such good character and it's
Yep.
just like it doesn't have to be my win, but I'm gonna support you sort of thing.
Yep.
And that is like it gets me goosebumps, but it like makes me fired up just because like not even think about like even whenever he wins another tournament, right? It doesn't necessarily mean that like every person who was up there that he went and said something to is going to say something to him or stand behind him. He's not doing it for that. He's
No,
doing it because that's who he is, because like that is who he is, and that's awesome.
absolutely. Yeah, that's inspired me a lot too. Like always making sure you stay till the winner gets their check or I mean, there was a tournament we were doing terrible in the other day and Andrew kind of jokingly was like, "Should we just go fish another lake where we know we'll catch them?" I was like, "No, we got to stay for weigh-in. We got to congratulate people, cheer them on because we appreciate when people do it for us, you know?"
Mhm.
So, that's awesome. Well, Anastasia, I'm going to put you on the spot here right at the end. If there are ladies out there listening to this who are on the fence about fishing a tournament, coming to one of our upcoming BassmastHER workshops, what are your final words of advice to them before we sign off today?
I would say be encouraged to get out there and go fishing. There are so many tools that did not used to exist out there to help you learn how to fish at your own house, right where you are. And you can even learn how to fish without having a lake or a river or even a waterway to get to, right? So you can go to your local Bass Pro Shops, of course, and pick up some tackle, pick up a rod and reel, or even you can get something shipped directly to your door. You don't even have to leave your house to get stuff in this day and age. Um, you don't have to start with a ton of stuff, right? Maggie talked about it earlier, gaining confidence in one or two or three things. Doesn't have to be a bait caster immediately. Spinning rod will do just fine. And even if you need a spin cast to get going, if you're fishing in the lake or if you're fishing in a pond, you can still catch them on that. It's just times have changed and things have developed so that it's just not the most sought after, of course. But right where you're at, you can learn how to do everything from casting at home. I like to sometimes go out in the yard and like either do cornhole or like put little cups out and try to flip into them or see how far I can cast with, changing up the reel a little bit. And then you can even learn, it's honestly kind of therapeutic how to tie knots. The other day I was making dice at the house. You can just do all sorts of little things and it still uses like your creative mind at the same time. Um, to, but secondly, what I would say on that is you can be encouraged right where you're at, right? So if you've never gone fishing before, that doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be Kevin Van Dam on Saturday if you start fishing on Monday. But if you start fishing on Monday, there probably will never be another Monday that you ever have to go where you don't want to fish because you're going to be hooked from day one. And I hear people all of the time. I think Maggie, we maybe got in a Uber one day or something at a tournament where the guy said, he's like, "What are y'all here for?" And we're like, "We're here for a fishing show." And he's like, "Oh, I haven't been fishing in 20 years," but he still remembers and it
Yep.
like made an impact on him. And I know there's a lot of little girls that are like, "Well, my dad stopped taking me fishing when I was 11 or 25, or I didn't go fishing because that was me and my dad's thing." Well, yes, it is me and my dad's thing that we love very, very, very much, but fishing has become my own thing, and it is something that women can do. You might not have access to a boat, right? But you can go fish off of lots of docks, lots of public parks and communities, and even lakes have docks where people can go fish from a pier. Um, or have places where people can go fish from a pier or dock, and you catch fish there. Even if you catch brim or bluegill and sunfish, it is fun to catch them. The second thing would be find people in your, or third thing, I guess, find people in your community that like to fish. Even if you say, hey, I want to fish tournaments, I don't know how to get started. Find a local club and see if they take co-anglers. Being a co-angler, I haven't been for a ton of times. I know that y'all might have more experience with being a co-angler than me, besides being a co-angler with my dad or my friend or just fun, when I'm fun fishing. But you're going to learn from a lot of different people being a co-angler and see all different kinds of perspectives on how people set up or the way people's brains kind of work in breaking down a lake they haven't been to. Or you might get drawn out with someone who knows the lake really, really well, and it might help you see, oh, well, it's actually these kind of trees that I should have been fishing this whole time at this time of the year. Um, and then also, like, you don't have to go buy the best equipment out there. That's a relative thing, being the best. If it works for you, if it was $1 or if it was $1,000, um, it still can catch fish at the end of the day. So that's important to know. You can fish inside your means and still be a successful fisherman. And then also, if you're coming to a Bassmaster workshop, if you are incredibly advanced or if you know absolutely nothing, we have something there for you. And it's so awesome to me. It has been since even before the first day to see so many women encouraged, and so many women who love to fish because that's not something that I've always seen. I've always seen women out on the boats and driving boats and in the river and that sort of thing, but I haven't seen that many women out there like loving to fish and or even just that fire to fish. And I've just been so encouraged by all of the women at the workshops myself. And I take something from every workshop. And so I know that all of the women that come to the workshops also will. And then lastly, I would say that, no matter how you finish, I know we've already kind of touched on this, but that sometimes showing up is the hardest part. So me entering a tournament doesn't necessarily mean I'm going to be at the tournament. So showing up to the tournament, following through with it, because some of the best days I've had on the water actually started off as a horrible morning where I was like, I barely wanted to get out of bed. I was like, I just don't know. The weather's not favorable today. The wind's not favorable today to what I want to do. And then I just went out there and did it anyways, and I had a great time. Now, there are going to be times where you can be discouraged. I had a time like that offshore this year where I thought that death was knocking on the door because I just, no matter what I did, it just didn't seem to go right. And I was seasick, and that hardly ever happens to me.
Oh.
It just made it really hard to fish, obviously. But then the next day I felt great and I wanted to get right back after it. So, um, also, if you've stepped away from fishing, right? Say you hadn't been fishing in 2 weeks or 2 years or 20 years or two times that. Um, the water is always open and available to everyone, right? It's like one of the only things that we all have that we can all go do any day, any given time. And it is honestly a blessing because I'm sure that someone somewhere is wishing that they could be out fishing or on the water. And even if it's just time where you go to reflect on life or just relax, sit down in your picnic chair and just get your rod and reel and a sandwich or something like that. Um, some of my very best times have been on the water, and I think that other women also will be encouraged to know that that's something that they can go do too. And the final thing, of course, head up, hammer down, and we will see you out
I don't even think I should talk after that.
there.
Beautiful. Anastasia, thank you so much for being here today. We appreciate you. We are so excited to follow along with you and Christine and everyone that's going out fishing the open this week. We will be rooting for you guys and you gals, actually, I should say, sorry. You gals. That's a Wisconsin thing. You gals. And following along and just be safe, have fun, go get them, head up, hammer down, and we love you. Thank you.
Thanks, Maggie. We love you too.
All right. Good luck and thank you everybody for tuning in and we will catch you on the next one.